there is a sense of urgency within you, the Alabama football fans, for Bryce Young to start at quarterback in the upcoming season. There are many reasons why you want to see Bryce Young start, Bryce Young win the job, but there are two reasons, in my opinion, that stand out from among the rest as why you have this sense of urgency that, Bryce has got to be the starting quarterback for the Crimson Tide in the upcoming season. But before we get into the two reasons here, first and foremost, we know Bryce Young is someone of 6 feet, 194 pounds, entering his sophomore year from the powerhouse Mater Dei High School in California. He played in 9 games a season ago, 9 games. He completed 13 of 22 passes for 156 yards and 1 touchdown. He accomplished so many awards in his high school career, in his prep school career prior to coming to Alabama. But as we now dive into the two reasons as to why Bama fans want to see him start, there's an urgency to see him start, and number one is Alabama has not had a lot of success with 5-star quarterbacks. It has not been able to have a lot of 5-star quarterbacks work and pan out here for in its tenure, especially under Nick Saban. When you talk about Alabama football, under Nick Saban here, you look at Phillip Sims came in as a 5-star in the 2010 class. Phillip Sims didn't pan out. Then remember Blake Barnett came in the 2015 class, and people thought, get on the Blake Barnett bus. He's the next one. Prior to Tua and Bryce Young, Blake Barnett was the highest rated quarterback in the Saban era from Corona, California. Everybody felt like Blake Barnett was going to be a big deal. Unfortunately, it did not pan out. And then Tua Tagovailoa comes in 2017. Now, he's a breath of fresh air from the other two. I mean, just seeing how Tua comes off the bench against Georgia in the 2018 national championship game and rescues the program to a national title. He's a breath of fresh air in that regard. He gets the program to a championship. However, in terms of being the guy, the starter, the man, wire to wire, start to finish, Tua injuries took him, right? He never really hit his full potential panning out as a starting quarterback for the Crimson Tide because of the injuries. 2018, he had the knee, he had the hand, he had some ankle issues. And then 2019, he had the other ankle, he had the hip. I mean, he just never was truly fully healthy after his freshman year. So he never really hit his peak. He never really hit his stride as a 5-star quarterback. And at times, you also wonder if Jalen Hurts did not struggle in the 2017 season, if Jalen Hurts did not have the struggles, do we know Tua today, do we know Tua like we know him today if Jalen Hurts would have been just balling out really good all the way through start to finish? Does Tua really see the field if Jalen Hurts does not have those struggles? That's a question that you have to ask yourself. That's a question that you have to get thrown into the pot there of conversation. So when you discuss Bryce Young, the question for Alabama fans is, can we finally have a quarterback, a 5-star quarterback from start to finish, from wire to wire, be that guy for us and win a national championship as the guy? Because Alabama, you guys have seen 5-star running backs start to finish, be the guy, win national championships. You've seen this with 5-star wide receivers. You've seen this with 5-star offensive linemen. You've even seen this with 5-star defensive players. But the question is, can Bama have the 5-star quarterback from start to finish, from wire to wire, operate, be the man, lead this team here to a national championship? When you discuss, some non-5-star guys that have won championships for the Crimson Tide, you look at Greg McElroy. Greg McElroy came out of high school in Texas, a 3-star, won a national championship in 2009, start to finish as the guy. A.J. McCarron was a 4-star coming out of St. Paul's Episcopal High School in Mobile, a 2-time national championship starting quarterback. 2011 and 2012, Jacob Coker was a 3-star coming out of Mobile, goes to Florida State, transfers to Alabama, wins the national championship in 2015. And then Mac Jones this past season, a 3-star from the Bowl School in Jacksonville, Florida, comes to Alabama, wins a national championship. So as you're seeing here, the guys that went wire to wire, start to finish as the guy, these were national championship starting quarterbacks, and these guys were not 5-star athletes. So the number one reason that you as Alabama fans, you want to see Bryce Young start, and it's the urgency about you, is Bama has not had a lot of success with 5 stars being the guy, being the starter, and you're crying out, can Bryce Young finally give us that? The second reason is the state of California. The state of California is crying out, Bryce, can you be the guy to get Nick Saban back looking at us in terms of recruiting, whether it's quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, you name it. Can you get Nick Saban back looking at us, Bryce, the state of Cali? Can you get Nick back looking at us in terms of the recruiting cycle? The last 3 signing classes, 2019, 2020, and 2021, Alabama's brought in 83 players. Of those 83 players, only 2 from the state of California. That's Bryce Young, and that's Trayshawn Holden at wide receiver. And if you remember a few years back, California was a big deal to Alabama football on the recruiting trail. California was a huge deal here. Aside from getting the in-state talents here in Alabama, aside from getting the wide receivers, defensive backs, and offensive linemen from Florida, aside from getting, when you're able to pull those guys from Georgia, snatch them away from Kirby Smart, that's always a great thing for you as Bama fans. When you're able to go and pull guys from the state of Louisiana, keeping them away from LSU, that's always a joy to you as Bama fans. But there was one point in time a few years back, California was a huge deal. And I remember when the Crimson Tide lost Lane Kiffin, U.S. fans were like, no, we lost an ace. That's an ace. That's our California ace. Why did we lose him? Whoever we hire, they better have connections to California. We can't afford to lose that state. And then when Taj LaPointe left, you guys were feeling the exact same way. Heard, whoever comes in here better have a connection to the state of California. California, a few years back, was a huge deal to U.S. fans on the recruiting trail. But in the last couple of classes, that state has lost some luster. You're not looking at California now the way you look at Florida, the way you look at Georgia, the way you look at Texas, the way you look at LSU, the way you look at the East Coast when you talk Maryland and the Washington, D.C. area. So this is a huge thing here. Bryce is carrying this state on his shoulders. The state of California is telling the Bryce, hey, bro, get Nick Saban back to looking at us here on the recruiting trail. Of Saban's 6 national championships at Alabama, of Saban's 6 titles for the Crimson Tide, 3 of those titles, half of those, have come from quarterbacks in state. That's another thing that's in Paul Tyson's cap. When you look at A.J. McCarron, won 2 national championships as a starter. He's hailing from Mobile. Jacob Coker, national championship in 2015. He hails from Mobile. Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.